Coronavirus has affected many countries, with over 50 countries having at least 10,000 cases right now. Across our top 36 countries as shown, there are two countries with surprisingly low death rates, Qatar and Singapore. The first aspect we are going to look at is deaths. Coronavirus is not being lethal compared to SARS or MERS, but the huge amount of cases can inflate the deaths. As of June 21st, both countries have less than 100 deaths and fatality rate less than 0.2%, which is very low compared to the world's average of 8.8%. Here's the trend of both countries. You can see that Qatar's deaths increased more quickly recently, but it's still very low. Singapore's increase is more steadily with at most 2 deaths per day. But both countries' deaths are still very low compared to most countries. This is due to both countries having many migrant workers, which is a source of virus to spread. It is known that the COVID-19 is nearly harmless to this group of people.
Next, testing. The country's ability to test their population on COVID-19 is also an important factor for a country to handle the pandemic. As we can see from the table, Qatar conducted a lot fewer cases compared to Singapore. While Qatar did only 320,000 tests, Singapore did nearly 580,000 tests. However, Qatar testing is more accessible to their citizens, as we can see from the number of tests conducted per 1,000 people. This is a graph showing the rate of testing in countries around the world. We can see that Qatar is consistently doing better than Singapore. Qatar did their first test in 1st March, while Singapore did their first test in 24th January. Next, confirmed case. Qatar's number of cases is about twice of Singapore's. Both countries have the number of cases per population much higher than average. Interestingly, Qatar has more than 3% of the population infected, highest in the world. This is a graph showing the number of daily confirmed cases. We can see that there is a lot more cases in Qatar than in Singapore. According to WHO standards, at least 10 to 30 tests per confirmed case are considered adequate. However, Qatar conducted only 7.3 tests, while Singapore conducted 13.6 tests for one COVID-19 confirmed case. Thus, Singapore's testing is about the standard, but Qatar's is much lower. Due to a very low death rate, it might be possible that Qatar has more pinpoint protocol to find infected people. So are we bending the curve? Even though there is still a lot of daily confirmed cases per day in both Qatar and Singapore, we can see from the graph that it keeps reducing each day. So this might be a signal that they are getting closer to the elimination of COVID-19.
Now, government response. Each country will have different strategies to stop the pandemic while maintaining the economy. The strategy might include social distancing, work from home, herd immunity, or some kind of restrictions. What are we measuring? We are measuring the government's response stringency index, which is a composite measure based on 9 response indicators, scaled to a value from 0 to 100. 100 is the strictest response. Those factors include what is shown on the slide. Government stringency index may change over time due to government policy. Qatar and Singapore had fast response to the pandemic, while Thailand just started in March. Now, Qatar and Singapore still maintain the strict policy, which is about 77 to 85%. We see that both countries have pretty strict response, such as limiting public gathering to less than 10 people, which is the strictest response it could be. The main difference between these two countries is about how the government helps relieve debt and international travel controls.
In conclusion, both countries emphasize on fast and strict government response. The factor that makes Qatar slightly worse is testing. If Qatar has done extensive testing more quickly, the number of cases would probably not as high as 80,000.
Thank you.